Hey, this is Luke Simons with Salt Strong. We're over here on the water, about to do some fishing on this Kaku. So this is a paddleboard. We recently got it called the Kaku Kahuna. I got loaded up, more rods than usual, testing out some new lures. Got this little mini spoon on, I've never used before. And then way over here, we got this little crab lure in case I see some sheep's head. So in case sheep's head come and play, that's gonna be used. Otherwise, I'm just I only have a couple hours to fish. I'm gonna go out there, paddle around, see if we can't find something, and I'll let you know how it goes. All right, well, I'm back at the house, and I wanted to share this footage. We had a fun trip, and this was a pre-front trip, and this was an area that I've only been to once, so I wasn't that familiar with it. So I'll explain 3 things that are really important for going out before a front's coming through, before a cold front. This is wintertime. These fronts are a little bit unpredictable. It was gonna be coming later that afternoon, and I only had a few hours to fish. All right, so rule number 1 is paddle into the wind when you leave. Go into the wind is very, very important, and make sure that you know the wind predictions and plan on it being not as good as what they say. So one tip for paddleboard anglers, it's very smart to sit down so that you have less wind exposure. This was the way there, the way to my spot, and now this was the way back. You can see just the wind had really picked up. Those waves are getting pretty aggressive, and this would have been really tough to paddle into if I actually had to go against it to get back. So much for the weather forecast. Sheesh. So rule number 2 is that no matter how windy it is, there's always gonna be at least some sections that are not windy, and those often are going to be where a lot of the fish are as well, and it's definitely the easiest sections to fish. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm paddling, just going real slow. I'm gonna post up on these mangroves. It looks like there's a deeper little channel going out in between these two mangroves. Got some mullet coming through, that's a good sign. Bunch of mullet. So I'm just gonna sneak up on it as good as I can. Oh, check this out. Just found a new lure. Somebody's missing a little prop bait. Baby torpedo. All right, new lure. So I kept kind of poking around these wind protected spots, you know, right up against the mangroves, and saw some fish, really wasn't having much action. And then in this spot, I finally found the recipe that I used for the rest of the trip. Just following it. Ooh, that was a nice snook. Ooh, man, that was a good one. So after multiple follows there, I was using the spoon in that spot. I realized that, okay, you know, I need to find more deep zones, more little creek outflows. And so I knew of this area that was at the very far stretch that had a couple little creeks, and decided to go up there, position myself so that I can reach a couple different creeks from one spot, and hope for the best. Tail. Golly, this wind is ripping. Oh man, oh, I had one. Had one on. Solid fish. Alright, snook. My line's a little frayed up. See if we can get him on this one. All I was doing was just casting up as far as I could into that creek and just doing a straight retrieve with a couple just little small rod movements every once in a while. There we are. There we are now. Finally. The last hope spot. Not a big one, but we'll take it. First fish on the Kaku. Come on up here, bub. Got him. Hook just came out. Alright, let that little guy go. Directly ahead, you can barely see it. Just to the right of where that landed, there's a little creek that kicks off a little channel just to the left. There we are. That's something small. This might be a little snapper here. A barracuda? Oh my gosh. So after seeing a couple instances of the fish just feeding in and around the creeks, I decided to start pushing up into some of the creeks and some of the deeper creeks to see what was there. I just missed the fish on that cast and made a couple more in this really thin creek. Oh, there we are, got him. That's pretty funny. See if I can get him out of there without losing a rod or anything. A little micro snook way up into there. Kind of spooked up a nicer one. Come on up here, bub. Oop. Quick release. See if there's any more back up in there. These narrow creeks are pretty tough to fish, especially when it's windy. You really have to do line drive cast or keep it really low and do a skip cast. And also, you know, that wind, even though, you know, it's being blocked by a lot of those trees, I was still getting pushed into the mangroves. So a lot of it is really just board control. There we are, nice. Ooh, what's that? What the heck is that? Oh, redfish. Right by the boat. That's awesome. When the wind's cranking, come back in the protected waters. It's a nice looking red. Little fella, but I'll take it. Alright, that was fun. Let him go. Might as well get another cast up in there. See what happens. That is crazy. 3 in a row. That was a little snook. There's a bunch of little fish up in there. Oh, got him. 4 in a row. That is funny. Got a little snook. These are all small, but this is actually a lot of fun. Come on up here, bud. Little guy. That's funny. Alright, well, might as well try another one. Aw, bad cast. I was due. The final lesson is really always keep your eyes peeled for fish. And the advantage of paddleboard fishing is that you're elevated so you can see into the water really well. You just never know when a sight fishing opportunity is going to come up. Ooh, there's it's like a redfish right there. Totally turned. Where did it go? Okay, there it is. Oh man, it totally turned away. Let's see if we can find him again. Oh, yep, I see him. Starting to move a little bit faster. I think he knows I'm here. Make sure you're making no noise. Alright, so yeah, he totally spooked with my line hit. So here's the second opportunity for some sight fishing. I noticed this was a big fish. It was swimming away from me, so I knew that, at least I had a feeling that it knew I was there. But I made a cast up there and actually had a really close call of a super nice snook. It's to the right of where it landed, and it's going away, but it turned around and came right behind my bait. Oh man, it came after me. 2 big fish. Those look like a really nice snook. Dang. That was a heartbreaker. So the conservation tip I mentioned earlier, this is really just about picking up trash, just keeping our environments as clean as possible. If you see something out there, just go ahead and pick it up. What does not belong out here? Cleaning wipes? Come on, people. And to take that to the next level, I highly recommend just keeping a trash bag in your car or truck just in case you go to a launch site that has just a lot of stuff like this, just a lot of trash laying around. It is just sad to see. And unfortunately, there's really, it's really up to us anglers to upkeep our environment. So it's surprising how much trash you can get with just 5 minutes of time, as long as you come prepared with a big trash bag. And then I had that other little Publix bag just to make sure I didn't get any crazy stuff on my hands. But anyhow, it is sad to see all this junk. But again, I was at least glad to have been able to at least done my part in making sure that I left it better than I found it. Well, that was the footage. It ended up being a fun trip. It was a really short one, and the wind was way stronger than I had expected, especially toward the end. So it was super important that I actually paddled into the wind so that I could ride it back. I would have hated to have had to punch into that strong of a wind for that distance. I paddled probably at least 1.5 miles in each direction. So always be very mindful of the wind when you're paddle fishing, especially if you're on a paddleboard, because those generally get moved and impacted by the wind more than kayaks. And so if you're a super community member, right down below will be a link where you can see the details on both my pre-trip plan on why I chose that area and what my actual game plan was, and then the post-trip analysis where I go in and really talk about the specifics on what worked, what worked of the plan, and then what adjustments I made while I got there from the on-the-water assessment. And if you're not a community member yet, I highly recommend just doing one of two things. And first of all, if you're a beginner, definitely check out this Inshore Fishing Manifesto. It's a short little ebook, and you can download it totally for free. And it really covers the 3 cornerstones and breakthroughs that at least I had for going out and consistently catching inshore fish, regardless of where I'm fishing from shore or from a boat or paddleboard or kayak, but with artificial lures. So this is what really helped me get from reliant on live bait, and even then I had very inconsistent results, to now I can go to a brand new area that I've never been to before, even in bad conditions, and I'm at least still confident I'm gonna have some action. But if you're an advanced angler to intermediate, then I highly recommend checking out our super community. This is where we put the best of the best, everything as far as our tips. And most importantly, this is where we really highlight the real-time trends. This is real-time information on exactly what's happening based on the weather conditions. And we go into the science and biology of these inshore fish on their behavior patterns, because all they do is react. So we really go into the science of water and the biology of the fish to analyze and to decipher how they react to the given conditions that we're facing throughout the year. So to learn more about the super community, I'll put a link down below for that. But anyhow, thank you so much for your time in watching this video. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you can get out of the water soon and catch some big ones.